All right, let's get to it. Time for another week of picks here on the Bigger Ten channel. It's our Big Ten Confidence Picks. Steve Dace here alongside Aaron McIntyre. Aaron, we have an update on how things went last week.
Yeah, it was not quite as terrible as the week before. I did actually beat you this week. Spoiler alert. You got Ohio State, Michigan, correct. Penn State, you did not. Minnesota, you got. Purdue, you missed in your one slot there. For me, I got Michigan in the 5 slot, Ohio State at 4, Wisconsin at the 3, of course missed Penn State, and I got Minnesota at the 1 spot over Maryland. That is good for 11 points for you, 13 points for me, so I actually beat you, but still well behind. We'll update the season standings next week. This week, your predictions, Steve.
Let's begin. We have a full slate of conference games this week. I'm going 7 points with Ohio State over Penn State, although that number gets above 17. I might play Penn State just on spite. I mean, this is still a very talented team. Mm-hmm. You have to think of, do they have any pride at all as a program? The idea they're just going to walk in there in that platform and just roll over and die, I don't think that'll be true, but I don't think they have much chance of winning the game straight up. So I'm going Ohio State as my 7. I'm going to go big. This is a week to go big with all these big games. I'm going 6 points, Wisconsin over Iowa. I think it's a bad matchup for Iowa. Having watched a lot of both of these teams the last few weeks, I just think Wisconsin is a little bit better at all the same things that Iowa's really good at, other than forcing turnovers. The problem that Iowa has, though, is Wisconsin has finally figured out it has to win with 10 guys on offense. It has taken the ball completely out of that turnover machine known as Graham Mertz's hands. They don't even try. They've got a nice backfield duo. It's kind of a poor man's version of Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum with the pile-driving 17-year-old freshman, and Chance Malusi, the transfer from Clemson. He's more of the wiggle Blake Corum guy, and I just think that they're better at those things. They're better at running the ball now. I think and Iowa is more going to need to have to rely on a turnover-prone quarterback than Wisconsin is. So I like the Badgers in that one. My 5-point game is Michigan over Michigan State. I think there's 3 factors here. One, I think the last couple of weeks maybe we've seen a hint that for the phenomenal job Mel Tucker and this whole program has done, that they've maybe have kind of reached the max of their current talent level, and you've seen them kind of get a couple of reality checks against some lesser foes. I also think this is a major revenge spot for Michigan, and when you look at Michigan State's rush defense, they're in the 50s, and that's including games against Northwestern, Youngstown State, teams that cannot run the football at all. Michigan is easily the best rushing attack we have in our league. So that's why I'm going with the Wolverines. Jim Harbaugh's never lost, either as a player or coach, in Spartan Stadium. I'm going to go Minnesota over Northwestern, although I kind of like the points and Northwestern here. But Minnesota is proving to be successful. Not really impressive. You know, Tanner Morgan's played one really good half of football the whole year. It was the first half against Nebraska. You know what Minnesota has been? Resourceful. And for all the mocking of the row the boat stuff, you've really seen their culture come to the fore this year. All the injuries and everything else, and them in Iowa control their own destiny heading into this weekend in the Big Ten West. I'm going to take Nebraska coming off the bye week against Purdue as kind of the Scott Frost last stand again. Okay, but I think Nebraska gets the win at home over the Boilermakers. Number 2, Indiana. I'm going to go with them over Maryland. This is just strictly. I just think Tom Allen's a better coach than Mike Locksley. Period. That's it. 2 beat up teams. Rosters are decimated right now. I just believe in Tom Allen more than I believe in Mike Locksley. And then my number 1 game, as in it's the game I'm only putting 1 point on, Illinois and Rutgers. I cannot be objective with this game, because Illinois is, after that win last week, I'm on track to win my best bet season win total, Illinois over 3.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that. I have them under. Totally forgot about that.
And man, this would put me over, and that ticket would cash. And I'm not in a place right now where I can objectively analyze that game, because I'd given up on that ticket after my Illini lost at home to UTSA. I forgot about it because I thought I had it wrapped up. Yeah. So I made up my mind. I've just got to put 1 point in that game because I cannot analyze it objectively. I got too much riding on that one. So those are my picks this week.
Wow, that was fun. Listing all those in rapid fire. For me, my 7 spot is Minnesota over Northwestern. Minnesota is playing very well despite some of the key injuries they had earlier this year. Also, Northwestern I'm not really sure. I mean, they had their game against Rutgers a couple of weeks ago, coming back from their bye, and then last week, I don't think a Pat Fitzgerald team is ever going to pack it in, but I just don't think that they're going to be up to the task against Minnesota. My 6th spot, I've got Michigan over Michigan State.
Wow.
For
Even
some
more
of the
confident than me.
Yeah, for some of the same reasons actually that you just pointed out. Michigan State, it's been a little while since they've had a team, an opponent of Michigan's caliber. And so I think that's going to be a good revenge spot, as you said there, but I think it's going to be a fairly comfortable win for Michigan. Ohio State over Penn State, I just don't know. I said this multiple times on Bigger Ten yesterday. Penn State, I just really don't know mentally where they are right now. I don't know where James Franklin is right now. James Franklin doesn't know where he is, and at least he's not going to know where he is going into Columbus on
He's
Saturday.
going to the big house in Columbus,
So
he said.
I think Ohio State should handle its business fairly easily. I've got Purdue over Nebraska. This is not necessarily an
7-point
endorsement.
swing here.
Yeah, not necessarily an endorsement of Purdue. I didn't say that they were a bad team. I just didn't think that they were as good of a team as they looked against Iowa. And Nebraska, I just do not trust them. I just don't trust them to be able to figure out how to win until they show me they can in close games, which this one could be close again. I'm going to fade them. At my 3 spot, I've got Rutgers over Illinois.
4-point swing here.
Yep, Rutgers over Illinois. I think Illinois, coming off of an emotional, long game across the country on the East Coast against Penn State, I don't know where they're going to be in terms of just, again, mentally, and I think they're going to have somewhat of a hangover. I think Schiano is going to look at this as a gettable game, and so I think Rutgers will come out on top in that one as well. Iowa over Wisconsin, I'm not confident in this one. I'm not nearly as confident as you are because, you know, the case you laid out for Wisconsin's rushing attack, guys, in 2 plays, they could be looking at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, and you're putting it back in Graham Mertz's hands again. If it is not as good as what you say, Steve, they're going to have to put it back in Graham Mertz's hands. I'm not sold on Wisconsin's last 2 victories, again, for the reasons I pointed out yesterday. Purdue's not as good as they looked against Iowa. Army gave up 70 points to Wake Forest, and Wisconsin's offense could only put up 13 against them. So again, Iowa's not bad at stopping the rushing attack. Again, this is in Wisconsin, 11 a.m. The students aren't going to roll in there until 20 minutes into the game. I'm just not as confident as you are. I'm rolling with Iowa. The sharp money, 81% of the sharp money, according to my source, is on Iowa in this game. And then my number 1 slot, I've got Maryland over Indiana, just basically all because Indiana is so beat up right now. I know Maryland is as well, but Indiana, I think they may be packing it in. Basketball season for them as well as Maryland.
That game may be a race to pack it in.
Yeah.
Like, don't be surprised if, like, there's no 4th quarter. Both teams are just like, dude, it's basketball season. But that's going to be a big swing. I counted an 11-point swing there.
Yep.
So I don't know how much I'm ahead, but, I mean, could you take the lead based on what you know of the math?
No, I could make it interesting, though.
Okay. So, I mean, I could essentially bury you.
Yep.
Or this thing, then we're set up for another letdown in November, which me as a Michigan guy, I'm very accustomed to. All right, that'll do it for our confidence picks this week. We're back at it again next week here on the channel. Michigan Podcast, Bigger 10. Until then, for Aaron McIntyre, I'm Steve Dace.